on BBC Radio Kent. I'm Erika North in Dom's seat for the next fortnight. Those playing some great music with some great guests. In fact, I have the Jivettes coming up next. So let's take a trip back to the era of rock and roll, shall we? The Jivettes, a very exciting three-piece female vocal harmony trio covering the iconic songs of the 1950s, which normally they'd be performing all over Europe and the UK, especially at this time of year. They could be going to the Balearics, the Canaries, to Spain over the summer months. But with COVID changed the events industry forever, the girls this year have decided to venture into the UK holiday market and stay a little closer to home this summer, which is why we'll be hearing them performing in Herne Bay very, very soon, which is right on my doorstep. I am lucky. Welcoming to the show right now, Sophie Quinton-Jones, who is part of the Jivettes. Sophie, tell me first of all, how did the Jivettes first start out? Where did it all begin?
Well, I'm a professional performer and it's kind of runs in my blood. I thought about the idea and I'd sung a lot of 50s and vintage sounding songs and I kind of wanted to do it myself in my own way and my own style. So as simple as putting auditions on and gaining contracts, I manifested my group, the Jivettes, and it's been a great success story since.
Describe the Jivettes look to me, because obviously this is radio, we can't see you, but I'm sure a lot of your performance isn't only how you sound, it's how you all walk onto stage together.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We're all, as I say, professional singers, and not only singers, but dancers as well. So we have lots of choreography, which suits the era. Jive and rock and roll styles. We wear authentic looking red big swing dresses. We have wiggle dresses and really sort of encompass the era in how we look, how we sound, and also with our dance moves and everything in between, really. Everything 50s that you can think of and imagine in a magazine somewhere or on TV in a movie. That's what we try and replicate on stage for a modern day audience.
How's the last year and a half been for you? Because with a normal working life that's so full of bounce, really, that's what you're describing to me with the Jivettes, the fashion, the songs, the music. You're getting out there to Spain, to places that are very colourful. And now all of a sudden, you know, COVID hits. I'm taking you back 18 months. The world closes down. So what happened to the Jivettes?
Yeah, that's right. We were actually on contract in Fuerteventura and only partially way into what would have been a long summer over in not only the Canaries but also the Balearics as well. And funnily enough, we just hopped on the ferry over to Lanzarote for a one-night performance when we were enjoying a drink after the show, and the Guardia Civil, which is the police in Spain, actually came along the high street, told everybody to pack up and go home because they were shutting the entire island down. So kind of in a panic, we went to the port the next day and tried to get on a ship and get back to where we were staying in Fuerteventura. And as quickly as that, it was completely stopped. Our whole contract came to an end very abruptly. And we kept thinking, oh, we may stay here, you know, a few weeks, it will all blow over. We might be able to get back on stage again, go back to the hotels. It didn't really happen like that. It was only because a friend of ours told us to get to the airport as quickly as possible, that the last flights out of Fuerteventura were going that weekend, that we basically packed up shop, left the island, and, well, we made it as far as the airport without any tickets, might I add. We just packed all our luggage and hoped for the best.
Terrifying to be so far away from home and have people telling you these things in another language for a start. It must have been very confusing time for you.
Yeah, it was. We'd actually spent a few nights already locked up in our apartment, and the rules and regulations over in Spain were a lot stricter than the UK. And it was, frightening is the word, but we dealt with it quite well. And it's great that we all get on so well because we made an adventure out of it rather than it being a sad affair.
I'm so glad to hear that. I love the Jivettes. So full of life, you're finding a silver lining even during a pandemic, which is a wonderful way to look at it. It must be so different, pandemics aside, in a normal year where you're touring the Balearics and the Canaries, and now you're back in the United Kingdom. How different is that feeling? Just explain that difference to me.
Yeah, well, the weather is different for a start. I don't know whether that's better for us, that we're not on stage in 30-degre heat.
Although quite warm at the moment. We have sorted out some muggy weather for you over the past few days.
Yeah,
We're trying. But
no, it's different. I mean, the lifestyle is slightly different for us, but in reality, the show stays the same. And, you know, the audience are are very different. We usually perform to international audiences, so we could have people from Germany and Spain and different languages and stuff. So from that sense, I think it's almost easier that we are on a level with the English audiences. And I must admit that holidaying abroad, which people might normally do, to holidaying in the UK, I think that sense of, as you say, fun and that holiday atmosphere is still in the air, especially as people can't travel at the moment. So the only thing I would say that's different is the audience's reciprocation. That's the only difference. And it's great for us to actually be making a mark in the UK for once.
What is it? Why 50s rock and roll? What is it about that inspires your performances? Because you're young girls, you could perform any era's music.
To be honest, I just love the era. So did the girls. We love the style. It's so glamorous. There was a real sense of revolution in the air in the 50s. And I think it's really nice to have that music that also backs up that it's a rebel in people that was around at the time. And we really like it. We like all the guitars and getting down into it and stuff. And actually, they're really interesting songs, and they were made for dancing and for, people to grab their partners and get to the dance floor. That is what makes them so fun and lovely to sing. They're great songs that are just stand the test of time, really.
I think they're going to sound absolutely brilliant when you are bringing them to Herne Bay. I'm very excited about this because you're performing right on my doorstep. Bring a flavour of Mallorca. How are you going to achieve that, Sophie?
Well, hopefully the sun's shining. That's what we hope for because, we're actually on the pier in Herne Bay. It's that holiday atmosphere that we'd like to bring. We hope that people will come and join us and just letting your hair down after this year anyway. And I'm sure that if people were to get on a plane and see us abroad, we would hope that they would have a drink in hand, have their families nearby, their friends with them, and come and dance and sing and have a good time. And that's what we're trying to do in the UK as well. It doesn't matter where we are. We want to bring that sunshine and that good feeling and that holiday atmosphere to wherever we perform this summer, definitely.
How's it going to feel to be back live again in front of an audience that you can actually see and almost reach out and touch? Obviously, with social distancing, you probably won't be doing that, but it must be a different feeling once again.
Oh, yes, definitely. I mean, we've been doing some virtual performances and individual performances online and things like that. And we have managed to slip in a few real-life gigs up to date. But performing in Herne Bay, for me, as a local resident coming back to my hometown, is really special. And I hope that not only will there be lots of new fans of the Jivettes coming to check us out and see what we're all about, but also performing for actually my friends and family who potentially don't always get to come to Spain. And it'll be really nice to have that energy in front of you when you're performing and there's real people in front of you having a great time and dancing, and you can't do that through a screen as far as I'm concerned.
You really can't, because we've all tried it during COVID and it just didn't work, did it? Where can people come see the Jivettes with yourself, Sophie, performing on Herne Bay Pier? That sounds exciting.
Yeah, so we are live on the 7th of August at Herne Bay Pier, and we do have some other dates coming up. So it's best to check us out online on our website and Instagram. We've got all sorts of dates and lineups and all sorts going on. But yeah, we're really excited about Herne Bay, and I think the Pier is a perfect venue for a show such as ours with its seaside 50s feel down there as well.
Have a great time. Have a great night. That's Sophie Quinton-Jones of the Jivettes telling us that you can see her in August on Herne Bay Pier live with the rest of the band. I think that performance is going to be something very special indeed. So glad you could speak to us this evening. It's BBC Radio Kent. Loving my guests tonight.